Hello there and welcome to episode 6. So there's a very common misconception that merging and flipping are the exact same things. They're actually not. Technically there's two versions of merging and flipping is completely different. Well, kind of. So today I'm going to be showing you the difference between them. So I'm going to start with merging because that's the more complicated one technically, and then I'm going to be showing you how I flip stuff. So with merging, I'm going to use real life examples here. So a merchant is someone who sells stuff. They buy stuff from somebody and they either use it or they sell it as it is. So there's the two variations there. You can either use the base product, say someone buys lumber. The person who cuts lumber makes it into a chair. That person is a merchant, or a craftsman technically, but they're also a merchant. They're using a product and selling it. And then with merging, you can also buy an item. So back to RuneScape here. You can buy an item, hold it for a while, it'll increase in price, and then you sell it later, which is more like a stocks trader. But for RuneScape, it's referred to as merging. So we'll leave it at that. So I'm going to show you a few examples here on old school, while I just do a bit of fletching on RS3. If you think I'm doing magic here, I'm actually using hotkeys to bank and fletch, which is pretty useful. So here with the oak planks, I'm buying them for 510 because I flipped them about 3 or 4 days ago, and I flipped them for 505 buy and then sold them at 510. So I made 5 profit each, and I did 10k, and I made a 50k profit, which is pretty good. But they're now selling for 546 coins, but they go up and down so rapidly. So I just left an offer in at a lowish price. So I'm going to buy them for 510. Put about 3 mil, 2.5 mil in there, so it's just a bit extra cash at the moment. And then if they buy, which they should eventually buy, may take a while for it to drop back down, and then I'll just wait for it to go back up again, and then I'll make about 30 profit each, which is pretty good, which is like 6 mil profit, or something like that. Probably not. Well, 1.5, still 1.5 mil for a 5k. I can easily buy more. If it's lower, I'll just put more cash into it when they're actually lower, but I'll just leave it in there so I can see when it is low enough for me to buy more. And the blue hides, I'm just buying them for alching. So I have 1k here, so I'm just going to show you it doesn't require very much cash at all. Obviously you can buy in bulk, which I don't actually recommend buying in bulk because prices can change so much. And make sure you sell everything in one go as well, because you can fluctuate the price pretty badly by doing it, like say 100 at a time, buy 100, sell 100, buy 100, sell 100. You're going to completely wreck the price and it's not going to work very well for you. You'll probably end up losing money. So I haven't actually tested these methods, but I'm just going to try one I did about a month ago now. So the first one there failed, so I cut that one out. I actually lost quite a bit of money there. So one that I'm 99% sure that will work is anchovy pizzas. So I'm going to buy a pizza, plain pizza. Just going to buy that. So 750. I'm going to buy anchovy. I think these are going for like 100 each at the moment, something like that. Hey. So I've almost spent my entire 1k, but that's fine. Can make a pizza. It does require, I think, 55 cooking, something like that, but it gets you a pretty good experience as well. And then I'm just going to sell it back. But just made 44 coins. Pretty good. Well, it's not great, but it's pretty good for if you're on that level for cooking. You can train your skill and make money. Obviously, most profit methods are very bad for experience and not good compared to spending amounts of money or losing money even. But yeah, that's merging in a nutshell for product use. And obviously the other way is to buy low, sell high over a period of time. Flipping is very similar to this method, but it's in and out straight away. Think of flipping a pancake. You flip a pancake, it goes up, it comes straight back down. Unless you throw it into the ceiling, but that's a different story. So a very common thing to flip is these Zora scales. This is for old school, you won't see these on RS3 3. So I'll explain what I'm doing after this. So I bought it for 129, 125 even, and 123. So it's a 2 GP in the difference. So I'm going to buy one for 123. Actually, I'm just going to, well, I'd say I'll buy the entire limit, but I can't because I haven't got that much money with me. So 1, 2, 3. Just going to skip to when it does buy because it might take a bit. So Nature Rune bought straight away. I'm just going to put it straight back in for a higher price. And that should, oh, there goes the scale. Just going to put it 1, 2, 4 just to show you. No, there goes Nature Rune straight away. That's like, what, 5 seconds for one. The limit is 12k per 4 hours, so you still make a bit of money, but yeah, that's how you do it. So now I'm just going to show you how it actually works for those who don't really know how the flipping works. I've seen quite a few videos on the flipping, and they are pretty, I mean, there's not really that much information to it. A lot of people don't explain how to find things. That's the biggest thing, and you can't rely on doing the same thing. Like with the Zora scales, nature runes, usually death runes, that kind of thing, you can flip them every 4 hours. On a very rare occasion, you won't actually be able to flip them because they'll buy and sell at the same price. There goes the scale. But that doesn't usually happen, but then you just lose out on that one. So I'm just going to increase my cash here for a sec. Okay, so the reason why I've increased my cash at the moment is it's better to buy in bulk when flipping, just to use the entire limit or as much of it as you can within the 4 hours, because it makes it a lot easier with the limited slots that you have. You don't need a lot of money at all to do flipping. I had a secondary account that I used when I started playing old school on this account as well. I started on both accounts because I run 2 RuneScape 3 accounts as well. That account that had 100, I made 100k on that, and I started flipping with 100k, and then within a couple of weeks I was up to 1 mil, and then after that it quickly increased. But obviously the more money you have, the more you'll make, and I will be making a video shortly based on how much I can make in an hour using a 10 mil cash stack, just to see if it does make a difference on either game. So that'll be coming up soon. And for now, so I'm just going to show you how, really the basics of flipping, which is honestly pretty good money making. You can either bank stand and do it. So I did Herbalore while I was flipping as well. You can do fletching, alching, actually runecrafting if you really want to. But if you get into flipping the higher end items, like the God Wars items, which I think are like a limit of 4 to 10 per 4 hours, then they'll take a bit longer to buy. So you can even start doing things like Slayer or just training stats and that sort of thing. I don't usually leave anything that I'm flipping as a buy. I always leave it as a sell if I'm going to go away for a while, because you could be buying something and it could crash, so you're now buying it over the price and you'll be selling it at a loss, which if you do it right will very rarely happen. I think the worst thing that happened to me was when I flipped some grapes, I think it was. I bought like 10k grapes for, I think it was like 210, and then I ended up selling them for like 170, which that sucked a bit. it's like a 400k loss, but oh well. So, and again, the reason why I have 3 mil is just so I can use the entire limit. So I'm just going to do the rest of the scales. So I do believe they were 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5. I'm actually just going to do another check here. So with old school, you can see the actively traded price if you're using OSBuddy. With RS3, you won't see that. But I find this helps quite a lot with flipping. But the same method applies to here, which I can show you shortly as well. So I'm just going to buy it super overpriced, and then you want to look at this. It's the 125. So you buy it high, sell it low, and then you flip it. That's your prices that you're going to use. So I'm going to sell that low. Make sure you only buy one, not two. Might confuse you. So and then just check the history. So buy it at 123, sell it at 125. So Zorro scales are a 30k per 4-hour limit. So I'm just going to buy the rest of them. 1, 2, 3, and it's usually that many, but I did some already, so I'm just going to put it to there. And I don't have enough money, so I'm just going to do 20k. And then while that one's waiting, you'll be doing other slots. And obviously, if you don't have enough money, then you won't be able to either buy a lot of items or use all the slots. But as you go up, unless you buy a lot of low-end items, I prefer to flip the low-end items, and that'd be anything that's less than 1k, 1k, 2k maybe. I would consider potions and herbs mid-end, which are between like 5 and 10k, because that takes a lot more money to do. Like say if you're just flipping 500, that's going to take what, 4 million. So okay, so they're now bought, so I'm just going to instantly put them back in at the 125. So I just changed them over to one coin lower, and they're selling pretty good. I mean, you can wait, they will usually sell for the higher price, but if you're in a rush or you just want to get the money quick, or you feel it's unsafe to leave it in, then by all means lower it a little bit. It does screw with the margins if you undercut everything, and you'll find it harder to do that item in the future. So say if for example oak planks, buy them for 505, sell them for 510, so you've got a 5 coin margin. If you buy them for 506 and sell them for 508, then you're decreasing that margin for other people and yourself at a later point. So it's a very bad thing for to undercut. So that sold them in like 10 seconds. Pretty good, and look at that, 19k profit. Should actually be 20k profit, but yeah. So ideally, if I would have done that in the first place, it'd be 20k in a very short amount of time. But yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. So obviously with RS3, it's going to look a bit different, and just ignore them for a sec. Let's do Potion Flask. They usually sell pretty good. 4899. 405, so that's a 94 profit. I'm just going to buy 500 of them. So since I'm buying so many, I'm actually going to do exactly what I said not to do, and I'm going to up it a little bit just so they bypass it. Okay, so I actually managed to buy one, so that didn't go very well. And again, I'm just going to sell it for an undercut just to show you how it works. gonna go sell it for a super undercut. So say you've had it for a while and it's really not selling, the price could have changed. If you haven't maxed out the limit, I do recommend checking the limit before you do it, especially if you have a lot of them. Say if you're doing herbs, they can drop quite a bit while you're selling them. So I bought this for 4810. I'm just going to sell it for 4820, which is 70 GP less than the higher limit that it's going for, and that sold straight away. So I only made 10 coins profit, but it gets it's more for the point really. And like I was saying before, with the merging, buying and using items, so mithril longswords, I don't know why they're selling so high. So I've been buying mithril bars, and this is actually a pretty good smithing experience because it's the highest I can do at the moment other than proteins. So I've been buying these. That's going to go through. There you go. So 2.4k, smith that into one of these, and they've been selling for 5k. So it's 100% profit, which is pretty damn good. And I just leave them in there. They've been there a few days. But yeah, I think someone's also selling them because I haven't sold any for a little while. I've just been leaving them in there, so I just gotta take that. But yeah, they haven't been selling for a little while, so you can find that with random items. Invention definitely helps with the jacked up prices. Not sure what's going where, but yeah, if you want to search around and find them. And then just before I finish up here, I want to explain a good way to find items, especially for, well, works for both I guess, is you wanna go for very heavily demanded items. So with the scales, they're very high demand because they're in use for the visages and the helmets. That same thing, I'm not really sure what that is. And the blowpipes, they use a lot. Darts are in very high demand, bolts are in very high demand. Food, raw food, cooked food, potions, usually 3s and 4 doses. You can do plant seeds, any seeds really. Higher end seeds are better. You can do planks, you can do logs, you can do, what else do you use? Hides. You can do alchemy items, nature runes, or runes in general even. Chins are in high demand. Use them. They flip pretty good. Black chins, red chins, even grey chins. You can literally do anything if you really want to. But some of the higher end things I like to do is the toxic tridents, I do believe they are. I'm not familiar with most of the old school exclusive content, but it's a few of the popular items going around. They I can make up to 80k or 90k per item, but they take a while to buy and they take a while to sell, and they do cost I think 2.1 million each. So it's an investment, but you get a higher return, which again comes into the having more money gives you more money back. So yeah, you can literally do anything if you really want to. On a very rare occasion, as I said before, there will be no margin. I usually see it with nature runes and scales. Say with the scale, I bought them for 123. Say when I sold it, I'll sell it for like 119 or something lower than that, and it'll sell for the highest price, and it'll sell for 123. So there's no point buying them because you're just going to be selling at the exact same price. And then you kind of have to weigh out risk to reward. Say cannonballs. Usually you can make a few coins each on them, but the limit is only 7,000. So if it's only a 1 coin difference, I'm not going to bother doing them because it's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes, and you're only going to make 7k profit. Say with death runes, sometimes they're a high difference, sometimes they're not. So if they're 10 each, which usually you can get about 8 to 10 margin, it's a 10k limit, so you're getting 80 to 100k, and you can usually flip them in again 5 to 10 minutes. But say if there's like a 2 coin margin, it's still 20k, which is pretty reasonable, so it's probably worth it in that case. But again, with cannonballs, you're only going to make like 14k. But it's up to you, honestly. you can do whatever you want, and very rarely, as I said, the prices will decrease as you're doing it. So be on watch for that, and do be prepared to actually lose money. But in the most case, if you're patient, it won't actually won't be too bad. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the links below for our studio work, for our games that we have released at the moment, and some of that we're working on. And if you'd like to see any specific content for comparisons between the two games, I do have quite a bit planned, but that might take a little while to get to. But I'll get to it as I can. And the next video will be me flipping on both accounts from 10 mil to see how much I can make in an hour, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Bye.